defy these difficulties. You have to overcome the problems that you have. You must have an aim and target in life, and you have to always repeat that nothing will ever stand in your way. Okay? And
which are, of course, good abstractions, actually, that we'd like to implant in our children. But now I see that you're using poetry in a very creative way, that in your social life. And do you use it academically while you're lecturing to students as well at college?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it also has to be done, you know, like this, because sometimes when you're teaching, for example, if you are teaching grammar, for example, one of the most difficult things that we as language teachers face is teaching grammar. You know that. Students feel that it's a little bit boring, right? They think that there is a lot of memorization, okay, over there, okay. So as a result, actually, they are not actually very much attracted to grammar learning, right? The learning of the grammatical rules and all that. So sometimes I write some poetry every now and then for my students when they are stuck somewhere. Okay, and
it could ease for them the way of memorizing the grammar rules, but I guess it's in a bit that suits their age. And to students in college,
of course, it's a little bit different.
We are going to hear from that, but I want to know. We are going to hear parts of your poetry, of course, but I want to ask you about the inspiration, and inspiration is something that is very important for poets.
Yes.
I want to know who inspires you to write the poetry, and to whom do you read in Arabic and in English when it comes to poets?
Well, actually, I'm so much moved and affected by situations and particular people in my life.
Yeah.
The death of someone that was actually very much close to me motivated me actually to write, you know, a couple of poems, or 3 or 4 poems about this person.
Yeah.
The death of my mother. My mother died when I was 16. I will read you later on. I will read you a poem about that.
Yeah.
I wrote when she died, a month after she died.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Thank you very much. To whom I read the poetry, so a lot of people actually, you know, motivate me to write. My wife sometimes, when she acts in a special way, right, she motivates me to write a piece of poetry about her. I wrote a lot about her in Arabic, all right. So she likes that a lot because, you know, she's so much interested in Arabic poetry, all right. So sometimes I wrote in colloquial Arabic, in Ammiya as well, not just in standard Arabic.
Yeah.
Okay. So different things actually urge you to write poetry.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I write about my children when they actually do something good, something interesting.
It could be a reward for them, and it could be something that is really special. All the dads, they bring presents for their children when they have something. You write poetry.
Yes, I will give a very nice example.
Yeah.
My little son Muhammad, who is 8 years old.
Yeah.
Right. Me and him actually together, we started to learn swimming in the university club together. So he was usually better than me in swimming, right? And he perfected the swimming, and I did not perfect it. So I wanted to reward him. Of course, he took some money for that. But before that, I wrote, you know, some little poetry for him, just as a reward, as some kind of congratulations. This is how I said to him.
And I guess he's going to enjoy it more than money.
Yeah, actually, he liked it very much, and I'm sure he's watching me right now, so he will also like it. So I used to say to him, "You are the best."
Do we have it here?
We don't have it here, the problem. You are the best. You are the best. You are the best of the best of the best. You are the best. You are the best. You are the best of the best of the best. Okay? This is just a simple thing.
Yeah.
Okay? Then you are the best, better than all of the rest. You are the best. You are the best, better than all of the rest. You are my bird. You are my bird, and my heart is your beautiful nest. You are the best. You are the best. you are the best of the best of the best.
Yeah.
You know, things like that, you know.
Very interesting.
Sometimes I write about my little daughter Aya, my little son Bilal, you know, things like that. So every now and then, you know, when something happens and it moves you from inside, and you feel that you want to write about it, you start writing about it.
To whom do you read poetry?
Well, I read to a lot of people. Actually, I read to my wife.
Now, I don't know. No, I don't mean to whom you recite your poetry.
When you read it, when you write it, you mean?
Yeah, the poets whom write poetry, and you important to write poetry. First, you should read poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah. To whom do you write?
Well, I read for a lot of poets. I read for John Yeats, for William Wordsworth, and William Wordsworth was, you know, a very romantic poet. So I read a lot of his poetry. I also for Arabic poets, I read for a lot of people. I read for in Ammi, I read a lot for Ahmed Fuad Najm. Okay, I'm sure you know about.
Salah Jahin, of course.
I read for Salah Jahin. I read for Salah Abdel Sabur.
You mentioned
as
that
well.
The poetry for your daughter. I remembered his very beautiful poetry to his daughter. As well.
We have, you know, we have a lot of. I read a lot for Hafiz Ibrahim. And, you know, Hafiz Ibrahim was, you know, a wonderful poet, you know, and even the way, the way he was born was also poetic. Can you imagine that, Marwa? Maybe this might be new to you and to the viewers as well. His Hafiz Ibrahim, his father was Egyptian, and his mother was Turkish, and he is from the same, you know, hometown. I belong, Asyut in Upper Egypt. He was born in a boat on the Nile. Can you imagine that?
Look. That's why they called him the poet of the Nile.
Yes, the boat of the Nile. He also wrote about the Nile.
Yeah,
he also wrote a lot about the Nile. But you know, not a lot of people actually are born in boats on the Nile.
True.
You know, so even the way when I read, you know, his you know the story of his life, I started to think, oh my God, just look at this. Even the way he was born was so much poetic. It is an artistic way, you know. People actually are born in hospitals, are born in streets, you know, in cars, but not in a small boat, you know, on the Nile. So actually, it was an interesting thing actually to know.
We're eager now to read the second piece of poetry that we have now. It's about school and life, and you mentioned that you for your kids to motivate them to love school.
Yeah, and actually what I did is I did not write it by myself. I wrote it, and every day I write a line. All right, the kids were with me in the car. I say the line, they repeat it with me. They enjoy it. They think that there is some music in there. All right, I move to the second line and so on till I finish, you know, this song. So let's say it together.
Please, it's gonna be on air, I guess.
Yeah.
School and life. School
and life. Okay. I will have to say it. I'll say it like a song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
Now they are the context is talking about the context.
Yes, you're talking an idea about the piece of poetry. It's about school, to let the students, and especially young students, to be more eager and enthusiastic about going to school and learning.
Yeah. So, I love my school, and success is my goal. I'll work night and day, and I will always say, I'll work night and day, and I will always say, nothing will stand in my way, nothing will stand in my way. Hope in me will never die, and I will always try. Hope in me will never die, and I will always try. I will always aim high. Take heart and ask why. I will always aim high. Take heart and ask why. And nothing will stand in my way. Nothing will stand in my way. I'll plant a success tree, and I'll work like a bee. I'll plant a success tree, and I'll work like a bee. With my eyes I can see that the future is for me. With my eyes I can see that the future is for me, and nothing will stand in my way. Nothing will stand in my way. So whenever there's a problem, my kids say, nothing will stand in my way.
Now it's like
it's like a slogan in life.
Yeah, their ego now is nothing's going to stand in my way, and I guess this is also could be a good
slogan in life.
Yeah, and no, I mean also a good title for this piece of poetry.
Yes.
Talking about school, and that nothing should stampede your way of success, and you should always achieve the goal that you really would like to. Dr. Hamdi, do you think that these days poetry is not as powerful as it used to be in the old days? And I'm not talking about very old days like ancient Egyptians and Greeks and these people that has started the art of poetry, but I'm talking about like 40 or 50 years ago, which is a little bit not too far. People used to read poetry and enjoy poetry sessions as well, more than now.